Thank you, sir. And the final question in this round, Ron Melton. What insights about taxpayers have you gained from working in the Treasurer's office for the last 10 years?
I will say this about the insights I've gained. Taxes should not be a burden for people. I've had a lot of people come through my office, thousands. They come in, they're upset, they're crying. I keep tissues in the office. 99.9% of the time when they leave, they might not be happy, but at least they understand their tax situation. Taxes, again, should not be a burden. They are a necessary, I don't want to say necessary evil, but they are. To run this city, the infrastructure has to run on tax dollars. I know that it's, my insight into this is that we have to have the taxes paid. We need to work with the people, the citizens of this city, to get them paid. And I have some innovative ideas, I think, that come along, such as our new electronic billing service, hopefully, for personal property tax. Right now, you get a paper bill. But I do think that people should be able to come in and have a discussion about their taxes with the people that work in the office and walk away with the knowledge that they will be able to pay their taxes and not feel burdened by the taxes that they have to pay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, the next round of questions, these are general questions, and you'll each have an opportunity to answer the same question. We're going to start with Ron Melton again with this one. The question is, what special talents, insights, and skills do you have that will make you the best candidate for city treasurer? Then we'll come to you, Ms. Siemens, and then to you, Mr. Cherry.
Well, as I explained earlier, my education, my experience in the Treasurer's office. I also hold the designation of Master Governmental Deputy Treasurer, which I obtained through University of Virginia's Weldon Cooper Center of Continuing Studies. Right now, I'm involved in the third part of a three-part governmental accounting certificate, which I will finish next month through Radford University in conjunction with the Treasurers Association of Virginia. Those things, those certifications, coupled with, again, my education and my experience in the office, again, I believe make me the best qualified candidate for this job. I feel like I have the compassion, the initiative, and the insight to be the best treasurer. Again, it's education, it's qualifications, and it is my experience in the office that make me the best qualified candidate. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Elizabeth Simmons, same question, and I apologize for mispronouncing your name a moment ago. I hate it when people call me Baton. So, what special talents, insights, and skills do you have that will make you the best candidate for city treasurer?
Well, I think you all know I'm trustworthy. I'm very organized. I could never have spent 30 years doing travel work if I wasn't extremely organized and on time. But I think you have to realize that, you know, you don't hire the guy that works in the bank to be the bank president. Ron's a great guy. He's very well organized. He's very well educated. And I look forward to him serving in my administration as treasurer. But the fact of the matter is, I bring unique skills to this position. And there's a reason that we elect a treasurer as opposed to appointing someone from the office. There is a reason the Constitution was set up for the City Council to set the tax rates, for the Commissioner to make the assessments, and the Treasurer to collect the taxes. So not one person is in charge of everything. This is about having a well-educated, organized, trustworthy person that you trust with your money. And I'm that person.
All right, thank you. Paige Cherry, what special talents, insights, and skills do you have that will make you the best candidate for city treasurer?
Well, I'm a manager, I'm a leader, I've done it all my life. Just for the record, I have a bachelor's in business administration with concentration in housing management, I have a master's in public administration with concentration in public management, and a graduate certificate in operations research systems analysis, it's graduate level in engineering. But I've spent my life, the last 25 years, in pursuit of the things that this office needs. A manager, a leader, someone who can work with the city council. It's very important that your treasurer knows all aspects of the city. Those 18 years I spent serving on all those boards and commissions taught me all of that. The 7 years I've spent on the Portsmouth City Council talking about budgets. Some of you will recall 3 years ago, John Rowe proposed a 17 cents tax increase. Thank him for that, because it gave the council a wake-up call to the things we were doing and how we were spending our money. But it was I who devised the method to bring that 17 cents down to 0, and then brought it back up to 3 to give our school system a raise. That's the kind of talent you need in the treasurer's office. Someone the treasurer does a lot of things. You got to understand contracting. We write the checks. You will recall that there was a time when the employees spent about $2 million of city money on projects that weren't approved by the city council. Well, I know the council rules say the manager can only spend $100,000 without coming back to council. And a regular employee or department head shouldn't be able to spend $2 million. When I'm the city treasurer, that won't happen because I know what the rules are. I won't write that check. I'll call the mayor, I'll call the city manager, so did you approve this? Or better yet, my office will stay in touch with council. We'll be at council meetings, so we'll know what's approved and what's not, and that won't happen again. Because we end up selling that property, that $2 million of equipment, for pennies on the dollars. That is, you know how much that is on the tax rate? You divide $600,000 by $2 million, that's how much money we could have saved had I been the city treasurer.
All right, thank you, sir. Now, the next question, Paige Cherry, you'll go first on this one. The same question again for all three of you. What qualifications do you have to hold the office?
Said them, but I'll restate them. I have the educational background. I do work every day for a living. I oversee 42 clinics, $21 million, part of a $400 million budget. Just last week, I was given another $16 million in contracts to manage for the United States government. So I have the trust. Your government has trusted me with billions of dollars over the lifetime of my working career. And I want to bring that same trust, that same experience to the city to manage your funds properly. So if you combine it with my service to the city, my service to this country, my qualifications, my work that I do every day, with my knowledge of the city, I am the perfect fit. You know, and as was said, you often bring, when people can hire a new CEO, they often don't get the CEO, the guy who's there. They go out and get someone who has experience who bring a fresh look to the office. I can come in that office with my experience, manage the bi-coastal office, look around, see what maybe need to be improved, what we can enhance with the different things that I learned in the financial systems that I've spent my last 25 years working with. No one else up here can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ron Melton, same question.
I think I've answered that question. I think it was asked earlier. I'm not going to bore you with the same details that I gave you before about my education, my qualifications, my experience. But I want to go back to what Ms. Simmons said earlier about bringing a fresh look. Working in this treasurer's office, for me, is a seamless transition from my office to the treasurer's desk. I believe opposite. I believe that you have to know the operation from the bottom up. You have to work there, you have to know the people you work with, you have to know your customer base, and you have to know all of the workings so that you can make a seamless transition from my position into the treasurer's office job. It's just my philosophy that you go from where I sit, actually it's literally next door, I just move over. It's a promotion for me. I'm not political. I'm not looking to be politicized here. I feel like I've earned this promotion. I've been in there for over a decade, worked in all types of tax situations. I know it from the bottom up. Thank you.
Elizabeth Simmons, same question.
Unfortunately, in politics, these positions are never earned. It's not the way it works. You need to find somebody who you know is well-educated. Okay, I have a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science with a minor in economics from the University of Richmond. I've owned a business and been in business and had employees in multiple locations for 29 years. I've worked in city government for 12 years. I will bring a very unique perspective to this position. I know how to handle employees. I know how to work with city government. I know how to work with the legislature. That's what this job is. Again, this is not about knowing how to post payments at the clerk's desk. And for that matter, may I say, even though it's not part of this question, the first thing I would do is open up that office. I told Frankie Edmondson recently, his office has such a fresh, open look. And on the other side of the hall, the treasurer's office is all closed in cubicles. It doesn't look inviting. It doesn't look like anybody wants to talk to you. It looks like they're hiding. That's one of the first things I want to do is open that office up a little bit. But you just need somebody that you know you can trust to deal with the position. Now, can you trust all of us? Probably. Are we all well-educated and ready to do the job and want to do the job? Yes. You have to make a decision which of us you think would do the job the best. It's not about who earned the job. It's who you think will do the best job for you. That's what an election is all about. Over the next few months, you know, you're going to learn more about each of us. Then you're going to hear some crazy things that aren't true. I would encourage all of you to come 3 weeks from tonight, August 17th, to my campaign kickoff, which is on the Carrie B. Tour Boat at the foot of High Street at 5:30 p.m. Thank you.
All right, you're going to have the first crack at the next question also, so that's so you know. The next question, what changes, if any, would you make in the way the treasurer's office is managed?
I don't know how I would make changes in the way the treasurer's office is managed, other than I think it's very important that we get the best technology we can. And I don't know that the treasurer's office has the best technology that is integrated as well as it could be and should be with the city finance system. And I would hope that we could work through that. As far as management, because I'm not there, I don't know. I know that my dealings with the people who work in the treasurer's office now have all been fantastic. I have no hangers-on that I intend to bring in as deputies and do other jobs. You know, my intent is to go in and, you know, obviously take a look at all the employees, but my hope would be that they would all stay and do the good job that they're doing right now. Because as a taxpayer and a business owner and a homeowner, you know, I've had very pleasant experiences with the staff there, and I think Jimmy's done a great job of putting them together, and I don't have any intent to make any changes to the staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Paige Cherry, same question. What changes, if any, would you make in the way the treasurer's office is managed?
I agree with Elizabeth that he has a great staff, two wonderful chief deputies who would probably be very good candidates for the job, who would be very good candidates for the job. But one thing I would do is establish a business liaison. As sitting on council, you get the complaints from everywhere. And sometimes businesses don't feel like they're being heard, or they have to go around and around, as we say, going back and forth to get the answer. I would establish, have a person who's a liaison that they can go to for all their problems, for all their issues, a person who's empowered to actually help them, and so we don't have to run around. I got a call a few months back from a business owner who paid his taxes with a personal check. And he was told that he couldn't pay your taxes with a personal check, but his check was deposited. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Then he couldn't get his money back. So after trying and trying, he came into his council representative. So I had to get personally involved to get his money back for him, so he wouldn't have to pay his taxes twice. So I would have a person there that can take care of that for him, those businesses who be in the business community, go to the business community meetings, and be their liaison and let them know they have a voice in the treasurer's office. I also would have interns. I talked to a young lady in City Hall last week who's been there for 33 years, who came there as a high school, 11th grader in high school. We don't have any of that anymore. There will be opportunity for our young folks to learn about finance and business in City Hall from the ground up and keep them in the city. There were 2 people in the office did that. One off to college, came back. One that went to college just stayed here. So the management of the office, I think the 2 chief deputies do a great job, but those are things I would institute to make it better for the citizens. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ron Melton, same question. The question was, what changes, if any, would you make in the way the treasurer's office is managed?
I don't think I'd make much change at all. We have a very fine-tuned office. We have a great staff. It runs like clockwork. But I want to go back to what Ms. Simmons said about opening the office. Commissioner of Revenue's office and the treasurer's office are 2 different animals. Mr. James Williams set up those cubicles for one reason: privacy. When you're talking about your taxes, you don't want to be sitting there and somebody sitting over here at another desk with nothing separating you. When you're talking about your tax situation, it's a private matter. And he did that for that reason, and it works. And so to open up our office like the commissioner's office, it just wouldn't work. But you have to go forward with the management. Again, we have a great staff. It's fine-tuned. My management style would be to let my staff do their job. I know each and every one of the 26 people that work in that office, including the treasurer. I know what they all do. I know what they're supposed to do. And they do it, and they do it to the best of their abilities, which is fantastic. I think you can attest to that with your own situations with the treasurer's office. Thank you.
And you'll have first crack at this next question also. And it's going to dovetail into what you just talked about. What personnel changes, if any, would you make during your first year in office?
None?
Thank you. Paige Cherry.
As I said, Mr. Williams is to be congratulated. He has a great staff. He has two chief deputies who do an outstanding job. You don't walk into an organization, and I have had to do that during my career, move from place to place. I worked for the Army, I worked for the Navy, I worked for the Coast Guard, and I've served in the Army. And you know, you move around. And since I was in office, I was always in charge of something somewhere. You go into an office, you look around, you see what they need. Your job is to provide what they need to be successful, not to go in and just start moving people around. And that's not my intention. My intention is to go into the office and look around, see what I can do to make their jobs better, improve the desktop machines that they're working on now. They're dated. But you got to be able to work with City Council to get in the CIP to make those things happen. That's what I would do. No personnel changes, but technology changes, yes.
All right, thank you, sir. Elizabeth Simmons, second question.
I hate to say this, but I agree with Vice Mayor Cherry 100%. Exactly what he said. No changes. Just, look at what we can do to make the office more efficient, from a technology standpoint. But I have no intention to make any changes at all.
All right, thank you. The next question, and Paige Cherry, you'll start this round off. How long do you estimate it would take you to master the duties of the office to assure its smooth operation?
I don't imagine it take me long at all, since I, deal with money on a daily basis and have been doing it in the current position for the last 7 years, managing it for the 42 Coast Guard clinics and the resource management for the last 25 years. I would go in there and take a look around, look at the operation, As far as the management part, I don't need any training. I'm proven. Some of you have my literature, but some of you have seen me work on city council. So it wouldn't take me long at all to go in there. I just got to learn the people, the personalities, and see what they need to be successful. But as far as, there is no learning curve for me to go to the treasurer's office with the amount of work that I do and the amount of dollars that I manage on a daily basis. There would be none. So I'd be ready to go in there on the day one and get the job done.
Thank you. Elizabeth Simmons, same question. How long do you estimate it would take you to master the duties of the office to assure smooth operation?
Well, at the 30,000 foot level, day one, I'm fine. Learning what the people actually do, that's going to take a while. You know, I'm not going to tell you that you know, I'm going to know what everybody does in the first week. It's going to take a few months to learn who Susie and Mary and Johnny are and what exactly they do and what they need to maybe do it better, faster, quicker, cheaper, more efficiently. You know, that takes several months. I don't expect to know how to do everything everybody does in the first few months. But at the 30,000 foot level and dealing with the big picture, I'm great on day one.
All right, thank you. Ron Melton, same question.
I think they were a bit optimistic. I've been in this office over 10 years. I'm learning right now still every day. Even though I know that from day one I can take over and do this job because I do it, I know what everyone does. I can tell you that it took me 3-4 years to get up to speed on. We have so many systems that we're working with. It would be the end of the first term for them to get up to speed. We work with real estate, state tax, personal property, cigarette tax, business tax. So many local taxes. I mean, amusement tax. Taxes you probably don't even think of. But again, it takes some time to learn these things. I've been in there over a decade. I feel pretty comfortable with it now. I could have said that 4 years ago, 6 years ago, when I just finished my first 4 years. So I think, again, it's optimistic on their part to say that they could be comfortable day one. I don't think that's quite right, but I am starting to feel, I am comfortable in there now, and I can take off on day one. Thank you.
All right, this is the final of the general questions. Then we'll go to your closing statement. And you'll be doing your closing statements in the same order as this last question, as you'll be answering this last question. We'll start with you, Elizabeth Simmons. What are your thoughts about the practice of booting or towing vehicles belonging to delinquent taxpayers?
Well, the practice of booting, I mean, nobody likes it. But the fact of the matter is the taxes need to be paid. Now, what's important is that everybody is treated the same way and given a fair opportunity to get those taxes paid. As long as we treat Mary and Johnny the same way and give them the same amount of time to pay those taxes, when all is said and done, I don't know any other way to do it. Now, there's booting on city streets, there's booting on private property. Got to be careful how you do that, but